Let us pray to Christian suburban God, the worst of the gods.
That's a great pitch there. I'm sure they'll help us. Okay.
I did it! I fixed it! I think. I hope.
Wait, hang on. Alright, I sound good so far.
Welcome to Harvest, population 51. There's a cow. Moo. There's a crop circle. Everything's good. And we just started the game for the first time. Doot. Just gonna start the record from here, because I don't fucking care. All right. We do gotta hear some dialogue, but looking at the meters, it looks fine. I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic. Also, we just went through that large man's legs.
Still feel like we're playing with, you know, dynamite.
Welcome to Cursed Anti-Christmas stream. Happy birthday to me.
Is it your birthday?
Next week.
Oh, happy birthday.
December 30th is the day I was born.
Oh, you almost did it.
Almost. The cow goes... Look at all these names. I'm sure we had interesting things to say about them in the past. John Jones, that's a cult leader name. Music by Zorch.
Oh, I thought you were making it up, and then I realized you're a second in the future from me. Okay, so... % chance that a side stream blows this all up.
We can try.
Let's get into the game first.
Yeah. So let's see. Last time we were here, we were talking about whether or not this game had anything to say.
That was the main point, and we didn't really...
And
we were thinking pretty much no, not really.
Well, it's hard to discuss at this juncture because we have to actually get into what the game does in order to talk about whether or not it has any merit, right? And it's kind of hard to describe it without just doing it. So let that be a
hanging question,
a continuing conversation over the course of the playthrough.
Yes.
Does the game have something worth saying? I would argue a little bit.
I would argue less so, but
well,
my media literacy
there.
is
How
admittedly kind of poor.
There's plenty of rejects in the trash.
Who
and
are
I
you?
just go on vibes.
That's a fine way to talk to your mother.
You're my mother?
That's right. Though sometimes I get treated like the hired help around here.
I don't remember you.
Of course
How
you
does
don't.
everything
Until you
sound?
Leave your socks washed.
No, you don't understand. I can't remember where I am or even
Mom
who I
sounds
am.
fine.
Land's
Dog, what do
sake,
you think
stop
about our
your
mom?
joshing, won't you?
Sounds great.
Honestly, Steve,
Best
I
mom.
thought you'd grow up a little after graduation. I only hope that new job will plant your feet on the ground.
So that's my name. Steve.
Your name will be M.U.D. Mud if you don't
Everything
stop teasing
sounds
me, young
great.
man.
Listen, this may sound strange.
Strong bad man has a snippet
But
to
I've
share
lost
once the
my
game
memory.
ends. No, we're not going to be playing the
Do you
whole thing
believe
today.
me?
This is going to be
Well,
2,
you
maybe 3
always
days.
were a kidder, Steve.
Yeah, there's going to
I'm
be a few
serious.
sessions. It's longer than you
Sure, And
think.
next you'll be telling me you don't remember Hank and your little
There's
sister.
a lot of dialogue to get through.
Don't forget to put the papers
Yeah,
out for
no,
Jimmy.
there is
You know how he
Someone
gets.
wrote a lot. Not going to go through it again, but if you say fuck to your mom, something happens. Try it at home. It's unpleasant. It's deeply, deeply unpleasant.
Start the counter. You always were a kidder, Steve.
You always were a kidder, Steve. Okay. Side stream is up.
Okay. Running the game now.
Everything looks good on my end.
Not getting game audio. But the game sounds fine. So you know what? Roll with it. At least I can react to things when they happen.
Mom, why? Okay.
I know how this game sounds. It's fine.
We've all harvested at least a little bit in our time. So, recap.
Welcome the Harvester.
Welcome.
I
Mom,
told
You
I'm
just
busy,
wake up
Steve.
in this
Why don't you talk to
house.
Hank or go next door and visit
This
Stephanie
very
or go get an early start on your new job.
50s style suburban domestic starter home. God, that's a term people used to use. They used to call them starter homes because you would
Yeah.
get married in your 20s. You would buy a small house that would be the house you own until later you can buy a bigger house.
that
And
phrase
just who
literally
is
hit
Stephanie?
me.
Don't
I
you
felt
dare
I
toy
felt
with that
hit by
sweet
that
girl.
phrase.
If you started on her
Starter
with all this
home.
amnesia poop, she'll
First,
think the fiancé is
there's a
having
line in the
second-
Radiohead song I've been listening to a lot recently.
Don't forget to
First
put the papers-
home, something, deathbed. I'm just like, yeah, what the no, home. That's your home.
Just
You own
a
that.
home. Any home.
I mean, sell it if you want, but you're gonna buy another place or get a condo or something.
We just
Or
put
go live in the woods. I don't know. I'm not your dad.
in a van down by the river. Apparently we just shove all the dirty diapers into this cabinet, and that's just where that is.
That is an option as well. The van down by the river. I mean,
Look at a baby. He's a newborn. He's sleeping good.
examine the baby. Nothing happens with the baby.
Not just yet. Cookies are hot out of the oven.
Okay.
And there's the oven with cookies. Let's see. How do we get to... Oh, we can punch.
Careful, that'll end the game real fast.
Yeah, let's see if we can...
Actually, that'll give a bunch of character spoilers. We should meet these people first before we get ourselves killed.
I told you I'm busy, Steve.
What about Hank?
Hank. That kid over by the television?
Who's
Your
Hank?
little brother is homesick from school today, and I won't have you scaring him with this amnesia poop.
Is he
Who?
really sick?
I wouldn't
Look at the
dare
show he's
say a
watching.
dirty
Wouldn't
word.
you say he's sick? I'd make him stop it. Oh, I'm so busy.
Your little brother, he's watching something awful. He's sick in the head, I tells
It's
you.
on Friday,
He stayed home
you know.
from school today.
I hope you're still planning on going.
Yeah,
No,
we gotta
I need to
talk to
think.
him.
Oh,
Yeah.
skipping out of a charity.
All
event.
right.
What's got
The
into
bake
you?
sale is on
That's what I'm
Friday.
telling you.
Don't you dare use that language around me. You're lucky your father didn't hear you. Or Stephanie, for that matter. How do you think she'd feel knowing her fiancé was a gutter mouth?
What about this bake sale?
What charity is this bake sale supposed to benefit?
It'll help provide a fund for bums and hobos who wander into harvest and have no family ties.
Oh, that's
Kind of a
nice.
specific target group, isn't it?
You have to pay attention to detail when dealing with such
I mean,
people.
considering the
I
era,
don't
the
know what
language
you
is a
mean.
little outdated,
You
but
will.
still.
The whole thing has been organized by the lodge.
Tell me more about this bake sale. Why is it so important?
As I told you, many unfortunates who come to harvest end up needing financial help.
Why is that the town's problem?
It's not a problem, so long as those folks are taken care of. It's the will of the lodge.
The lodge.
The lodge. What's the lodge?
What lodge?
The Hall of the Order of the Harvest Moon, Steve. It's just the finest place in Harvest. And the most exclusive.
What's so great about it?
Hard to say since hardly anyone gets inside. But it wouldn't be so exclusive if it wasn't just wonderful. Just like the new Reynolds dishwasher with their patented auto-dry process, TM. I've never used one, but I know I want it. Instead of sulking around the house all day, why not walk over to the lodge and apply for membership?
That sounds gee golly swell. Yeah, people with lack of ties elsewhere who might not be missed. Let's
That's
play along. Let's go
wonderful,
for
Steve.
it.
If you got into the lodge, you'd be the talk of Harvest.
So there seems to be like a path, you know, Steve's got a life set out for him. He's got a fiance and a job offer.
Harvest is a town
it's like
you've ever known.
In what
Domestic
way?
simulator.
I don't
Yeah.
have time to go into it now.
That's what
Why
this
not
game
take a
is.
walk
I get
around
it now.
town and pester someone else? I'm busy.
Totally normal, totally
Harvest
chill.
is a town unlike any you've ever known.
We seem to be in the
In
50s.
what way?
I don't have time to
Yeah.
go into it now.
We've had a
Why not
couple-
walk around town and
Like
pester
post-World
someone
War
else?
II,
I'm
but
busy.
it's not quite the 60s yet.
Yeah, we've had a couple of signifiers, like the
Don't
way
forget to put
mom
the
is
papers
dressed
out
in the
for Jimmy.
kitchen.
You know how he gets.
That's very father knows best television sitcom of the era. This TV especially. Like this floor model rabbit ear television. Let's see, brought up a good point. Specifically, a bit of commentary depends on if the game is slamming capitalism or consumerism. Consumerism being essentially blaming people for having to live under and participate in capitalism despite having no choice. I don't think this game takes a stance on like a capitalist versus communist perspective.
What?
I think it's more of the like of the values and the ideals of this era in time. And that certainly incorporates a lot of, like, you know, consumer product problems. Who are you?
Leave me alone, Steve, or I'll tell Mom on you. Mom's in the kitchen, and if you bug me, I'll call her.
Look, do you know me?
Wish I didn't, 'cause then you wouldn't be my brother, and I'd have your room, and all the presents at Christmas. Though I will soon enough anyway, 'cause you're a lousy rat.
Also,
You're my brother.
No duh.
our family is just being
Listen, I
very
don't need to,
expositional in the way
bug
they
you,
talk to
But I
us.
can't seem to remember
Yeah.
anything. Will you please just tell me who you are?
Mom, Steve is bugging me.
Steve,
Mom.
leave Hank alone right now.
Mom, Steve is bugging me.
Oh, lousy
Why am
rat.
I a rat? What did I do to you?
You went and
Careful, you
got
might get the
all
bad
nasty
ending.
on that girl.
Being mean to
And
your
now
brother.
you're lighting out on me. Well, if that's the way you're gonna be, then you can drop dead.
Got mushy
I
on a
don't know what
girl,
girl
you
you're
say?
talking about.
All summer, it's been Stephanie this and Stephanie that. And now you don't remember? You think I'm dumb or something?
No, I just can't remember anything, like I said.
Well, you better remember quick, 'cause the wedding's in 2 weeks.
What?
Oh, jeez.
Leave me alone so I can
What?
watch TV.
2 weeks till the wedding, 5 days to the bake sale. I got a whole social calendar I need to keep up with.
Just
That's a
shake
weird
his
looking
hand like a
television.
cartoon.
Come to think of it, this whole place looks totally retro.
What do you mean, retro?
Steve has some
How
incredibly
beautiful,
dopey
like,
faces, and it's pretty
basically.
great.
But this is one old-fashioned clunker.
We don't get too much of this from what I remember, but this is one of the few times
Yeah,
that,
but
like,
look at the tube. Where's the remote control?
What's that?
Steve
I
signifies
Now
that
that I
he's
think about
not from this
can't
time.
remember.
And what was that you said about retro rockets?
Yeah, because he asked about the television.
No, retro. It
Yeah, and
means
specifically the remote control.
it means.
So,
Oh man, I know what I mean. That everything here is wrong. But I can't picture
because you
the
could argue that
difference.
maybe Steve
Then
is just
shut up
suffering
and
from
quit
some
bugging.
kind of, you know,
Nothing
amnesic
to
spell,
show.
but he wouldn't know what a remote control was
Right.
unless he was from at least the 80s.
Have you noticed that your show is in black and white?
What
yeah,
else?
he also color on a TV.
On TV?
What?
Well, I think I've seen a colored television.
I've seen this one before.
Have not.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna tell.
And I
Hey,
think
look
they're
at that.
trying to imply that maybe
Your mother lets
his
you watch this
his
stuff?
brain is
Sure.
very quickly
This is part of
switching,
history. What
and
made
it's starting to
America
like
great.
forget,
And besides,
because he goes very quickly from like black and white to like, I think I've seen color TV before. That memory is becoming less and less clear very rapidly. Little
Right.
kids shouldn't watch violence.
Well, you can't stop.
Let's take a
me,
stance on this.
so
This is
learn
very important.
alone, or else.
Have you noticed that your Hey, look
We
at
have run out of
Sure.
conversations with
Besides-
Hank.
My God.
You're right. This is
I'm
me.
glad you're catching on, Steve. You're not too bad for a lousy rat.
This is very early before Telltale. No one will remember that. None of your
Good.
dialogue options
Fine.
will have later consequences.
Yeah, it's true. Your actions will have consequences, but you have to do them because this game has pretty much one path.
Examine the master bedroom. The door is firmly locked. Oh, and also, when people want to bring up, oh wow, you cannot stop. Hold on. We'll talk to you in a second, Jimmy.
Yeah, we can't talk to Jimmy yet.
People like to, bring up David Lynch in conversation with this game, and it's not.
Don't see it.
I mean, it's that very, like, dark and icky things hiding under the veneer of American society.
Okay.
It's definitely handled a lot more blatantly than Lynch does. But one of the nice subtle touches this game has is this sort of thing. The plaster in the ceiling is beginning to crack.
Yeah, there's a crack in the ceiling, and the wallpaper looks kind of old here.
Yeah, it's like a little moldy. That's very much a Lynch move of like showing the rot is starting to creep in socially. The go-to examples, if you ever watch Blue Velvet, there's a shot early on in the movie where the camera is like watching an old man mow his lawn, and then he has a heart attack, and then the camera pans down through the earth, and you see like all the insects writhing around in the dirt under the house. That's probably the most blatant Lynch ever got about it. I mean, aside from Eraserhead, which was definitely a fucking film, I guess.
I've seen that. I haven't seen too much Lynch.
Eraserhead, I'm not a
And
fan
Eraserhead,
of.
actually. It was an experience. I watched
Yeah.
it in my room in the dark one day.
That's
I don't remember
probably
why.
Because it's, it's out there.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Big low Lima space disc stuck on the roof. Yeah, very, like, there are pretty blatant comparisons you can make to Darkseid 2 as well.
Yeah.
High voltage power lines bathe your home in a wholesome old-fashioned electromagnetic field. You feel their humming in your dreams. Alright, you little shit, what do you want?
Steve, I'm Jimmy James. Remember me?
It's Jimmy James.
I
It's
guess
Jimmy
not.
James.
Hey, how come you haven't been putting the paper out for me in the morning?
Hey, how come? Putting the paper out for you.
Yeah.
Supposed-
Yeah? Well, try to remember, will ya? How'd you expect a working Joe to make an honest living? If you don't put the paper out, I'm out of a job.
So what? You don't get paid for picking up papers anyway.
The Sentinel building burnt down. What the heck else am I supposed to do? Listen, start putting that paper out and everything will be Jake, okay?
Everything will
That's all I
be
want.
Jake.
That and a parachute.
Well, we want
Is that
things to
even-
be Jake.
Is that slang? Is that a fucking thing people said?
Say, you got
Guess
any
so.
pair of sneakers?
Jimmy needs a pair of new sneakers. He's got holes. Nope, no
Aw,
shoes.
gee whiz. Look, if you
Gee
find
whiz.
any, I'd be willing to trade you for 'em. Something really neat of 'em. Think about it. See you later, alligator.
In a while, you little asshole. Junk mail, bills, and bake sale flyers.
Oh, Zeta, we are now taking off. We are now approaching takeoff.
Oh, yes.
We are cleared. We can leave the house and explore, and it's pretty much your call as to what facet of suburban hell you want to experience.
Yeah, it's surprisingly open for games of the time. I mean, point and clicks always had like a certain level of that, but this one you can really kind of like do anything in whatever order you want as long as you hit certain marks. The security bars are fastened to the window with Phillips head screws.
That's a little weird. Only one window?
Only one window. All right, here is Harvest. Here is our town. In the center is the lodge. Got a missile base, barbershop, post office, general store, Johnson residence, cemetery, mortuary, police, fire, news, Edna's Diner, TV station, Geen Memorial School, yuck, yuck.
We can't really say why that's funny yet.
Let's check out the lot. The rest of it, I'm going to be like, I'm not really bound to what order we go to places, but the lodge seems like we should start here. This is the most important building in town. This medieval castle with a monk guarding the door. Red eyes gleam with eerie malevolence from the darkness. Looks as ancient as the building itself. A green sludge oozes from the drain. Ninja Turtles, are you down there? Sergeant at Arms. Oh.
Did you say something?
I did not speak. I touched yours.
Telepathy.
The way this guy talks, I'm going to have to bump the volume up to hear him.
Yeah.
Attention. Do you hunger for true knowledge?
I'd like to join the lodge.
Always obstacles to the path. You must first fill out an application to be considered for initiation into mysteries.
We got to do paperwork.
Members of the Order are privy to many hidden truths.
Such as?
They know the trees whisper to the wind.
This guy talks in a very Dr. Claw. And it makes it so low that it's impossible to fucking hear.
Yeah.
What you've forgotten.
We're gonna be hearing from this guy too, so
Yeah, this guy talks a lot. Maybe not at first, but we'll be dealing with him a whole bunch.
When you possess the truth, you will know what you knew. And if anything remains forgotten, then it was never worth the knowing.
oh, I never thought about that.
Bump that up a little bit.
Have you obtained an application from the postmaster?
There we
yet.
go.
If you would find knowledge, you must seek it from the first realization of the wanting.
Fine. Get an application. Got it.
Whether you do or not matters little to me. Many are called, but few chosen.
All right. Anything more to
Have
say?
you
Nope.
Not yet.
He's really just
you would find
laser focused on
knowledge,
getting us getting
you
an
must seek
application
it
filled
from
out.
the first realization of the wanting.
If you delay even a second, you suck.
Harvest seems strange to you. Nothing is quite as it seems, or should be. Such is the way of all things when viewed from a proper perspective. Only within this lodge can the truth be found.
All right. Where do you want to go first? What's burning in your soul?
Any requests from the audience? Missile base.
Missile base.
We got a missile base.
Yeah, also worth pointing out, there's no time limit. When you complete a certain number of flags in the game moves on. You can take as much time as you want. Yeah.
It's usually like, sometimes you just need to pick up an object and walk out.
Mm-hmm. It's not like Darkseid, where you have 3 hours on the clock until your head explodes.
Yeah, there's no risk of that. There's risk of other things.
In fact, I might just want to go ahead and...
Let's save our game.
Save. Everything in this game can be fucking responded to with why. This aircraft appears to be well maintained. The guard booth is the only building on the base.
You know, this is the only location you don't need to actually come to.
Really? Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, this guy. Welcome, Scruff. Yes. This fucking guy. Colonel Buster Monroe.
Oh, who goes there?
They tell me my name is Steve.
Here's another location.
All right.
Okay.
This is Section 21. Keep your distance, son. I wouldn't want to have to blow your head off.
That makes 2 of us.
Please don't blow
So
my head
you're
off.
the amnesiac, huh? Just another draft-dodging ploy the way I see it. But at least you're not an alien. You see their ships every now and then. Sometimes Swell bags one in the woods.
Who are you?
I don't want to know what Swell
Colonel
does in
Buster
the woods.
Monroe,
I feel like
commander
amnesia would
of
be
the
a
Harvest
great
nuclear missile
reason
installation,
for someone to
keeping
join the army.
America
You
safe
know,
from those
according
who
to
would
the
dye our
army.
flag red, white, and pink.
These are nuclear missiles?
Goddamn right they are. Every one of them ready to rain death on the Ruskies. All I gotta do is hit the button and blammo! The price of vodka goes through the roof. Along with the vodka.
Well, I suppose you have, you know, safeguards against accidents?
Safeguards.
What the fuck is
Don't
a
be such a weak
safeguard?
sister. There are no safeguards.
Oh god, he
This
actually
is the
says this is the
50s.
50s.
Then you have sole control
Here we're like,
of the,
you know, it feels like the 50s.
That's
and then
right.
The
he's
subtext
correct.
turns,
Since
subtext turns into
WW2.
text and smacks you in the
When I
face.
got my lower torso shot off in the war. Those
They took my
pennyweights in
shins.
Washington wanted to stick me behind
This guy's
the
got
desk.
very Cotton
The hell
Hill
with
vibes.
that. They owed me.
That's exactly who I was
left
trying
my
to
legs
think
in
of.
Dusseldorf.
Yeah, I was
They
trying to think of
owed me.
another guy who got his
they
legs
felt
blown
it.
off and had to crawl back
After the
to.
trauma of having to crawl from
to
Germany
America.
to England, trailing my intestines behind me. I was too emotionally unstable to continue in the
And
military.
they're all
That's why they gave me this
cowards.
nice cushy job
All of them.
and put me in charge of the nuclear missiles.
What about that button?
Why are you asking about the button, son?
I'm just a little nervous about it. I mean, suppose an accident happens.
Don't get your panties in a bunch, mister. The button is perfectly safe. I keep it on my person all the time.
The button is perfectly safe.
No
If his
Next to my sword,
arms,
mitts on
yeah,
this
if his
button.
elbows
No, siree,
like
Bob.
quiver for a minute,
No one initiates a
can't
nuclear
be
holocaust in
nuclear
Harvest except
button.
me. Now, doesn't that make you feel better?
rolling Stimpy's face along the man's torso.
That is legitimately a really funny moment in that show. A show that I actually really hate, I think. But I remember that as a kid.
I loved it as a kid. I haven't watched it as an adult.
I haven't watched it as an adult either. I don't want to.
Remember,
There are other
I can
reasons.
cover.
We're just gonna save again, just for you know, just cause. Cause what? I want to know this man's thoughts.
Who goes there?
It's just me, Steve.
What do you want? Did the llamas send you?
Llamas. Yeah. Yeah, they
I
did.
knew it. They won't leave me alone. Them and the kookaburras. Nine! Nine!
Oops.
It's funny every
Fucking
time.
oops. Fucking oh no.
And that's
Harvester.
That's Harvester.
Yeah, so this game does the Sierra thing where you can die like real easy, real suddenly.
And we can die anywhere pretty much.
I would argue it's a lot funnier here than it ever was in a Sierra game.
Yes. This game has some really hilarious deaths.
We're going to be seeking out a bunch of them. Also, I wonder if I can...
We can... There are several ways to fuck up.
If you just walk toward him, he fucking does it.
There are several ways to fuck this up.
Yeah, normally I get that. I saw that when they tell him it's I'm a commie. I didn't know the thing about the lumps.
Yeah, I never saw that one, but I knew it was, there had to be more, because this is supposed to be a literal minefield of a conversation tree.
Mm-hmm. It's also worth noting that this is me right-clicking. There is combat in this game.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that like I'm curious about how it's gonna feel to actually do as opposed to just watch. You also have a health meter. They mentioned this in the tips at the beginning, but like as you get injured, this fucking Polaroid will deteriorate. Also, it's Monday.
It's just me. What do you want?
No, I am anti-llama.
Someone has to keep them in check. I'm glad you stopped by again. I want you to infiltrate those firemen, mister. There's a lot of art going on over there. I want to make sure they haven't turned into commie bastards. You got that? And don't come back unless you've got information for me.
Yes, sir. Terrible man, sir.
Remember, duck and cover.
All right, so we've got two kind of leads on places to go. We've got getting an application from the post office or checking on the firemen. That having been said, there's lots of other places. So we can do one of those two, or we can go somewhere else. What do folks want to do? Ask about the lodge and the parser. Oh, okay. Let me go back and do that real quick.
Hold.
While we figure out,
it's just me.
while
Steve.
we poll
What do you want?
what the next location can be.
That's good. I remember.
Huh. Interesting. What happens if I say there? No, let's... That'll probably just trigger the nukes again. They're not commies.
Thank God for that. Your next assignment is to infiltrate the lodge before it's too late. Get it at all costs, mister. God help us all.
What about the lodge?
I don't follow.
What about the... What about the lodge?
I don't follow.
Lodge doesn't end with a W.
I don't follow.
wow.
No, we haven't done the slaughterhouse. We've done our house. The first, where we wake up first time at our house. We've done first pass of the lodge, and we've done the missile silo.
Oh yeah,
The timer says an hour 15, and we really wanted to soak in the house for about an hour. Let's say that's what happened.
Yeah, go to the strange house.
Strange
that makes
house.
sense.
Yeah, let's do
Strong
it.
Bad Mad is saying, see the one woman that you never have to see in game in the dilapidated house. And the slaughterhouse. Yeah, we'll do that.
Oh, I must have already... Well, he just gave us orders to infiltrate the lodge and make sure they're not commies. So.
Remember, duck and cover.
I guess we don't have to go to the firemen right now. We will it eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna happen eventually.
Buzz buzz. The overhang is perfect nesting ground for wasps.
Oh boy.
The old car is a perfect nesting ground for wasps. You ever been stung by wasps?
I think maybe once. I hate them.
I've had multiple insect attacks in my life.
Oh god, yeah, no, yeah.
It sucks. Yeah, there's
Warning,
definite
insects.
insects incoming. Also, some weird horny shit. But also, just, there's weird horny shit all over this game, so... I've been covered in yellow jackets and stung about 100 times. I've been covered in fire ants and bitten God knows how many times. I've been chased up a hill after I ran a lawnmower into a hedge with a wasp's nest in it, a hornet's nest in it, the size of a basketball. I looked them up later. They were called bulb-headed hornets because their heads are completely white. The holes they punched in me were very big, and apparently they're like the 4th most painful insect sting on the planet. So there's gonna be some bugs. There's gonna be some bugs. Right now!
I got stung once by a bee and I cried. I remember that. I was like 3.
So we got...
I don't have any
this
stories,
stuff.
sorry.
Yeah, I know some folks in the chat have problems with spiders. I don't think there's any spiders in this game. The icebox is sealed shut with wasps' nests. We got picture of a wasp. Cabinets are infested with wasps. There is a spider in this game? Okay, I don't remember then. Someone point that out when we're about to hit it, because I won't be able to warn for it ahead of time. Oh, okay, cool. If you know what it is, then
Spider warning.
spider warning.
Let us know.
Spider landmine somewhere within game. Tetsuya Crumb, however, does not care for spiders.
It's not often that I get visitors. I am Tetsuya Crumb. The ignorant of harvest called me the Wasp Woman. A pejorative, no doubt. Born of fear and of poverty of imagination.
I don't understand.
Oh, I remember the spider.
Politics of
I
honey,
remember the spider now.
the Judeo-Christian rites of sacrifice and conventional taboos against unbridled pleasure are all responsible for the prejudice against wasps.
That's a wild statement. Please, go on.
Yes, a great deal of pleasure. The wasp is a sensual being, not a laborer. Hedonistic instead of industrial. Some think them quick to anger. In truth, they are easily
Come to the
swayed
colossal
ecstasy.
pillar of wasp eggs. Bring no
They
weapons.
penetrate your flesh, and the muscular contractions in their thorax as they pump venom could be likened to the muscular contractions of ejaculation. Each painful welt, an act of love.
I mean, lots of things could be. Like, sure. I wouldn't.
Regard the wasp. Wasps produce nothing for others, but only for themselves.
There's an Eddie Izzard bit from back in the day where she's talking about how, bees make honey, but what about the other insects?
They spread into ease
Insects,
and
Jesus
acts,
Christ.
Not to make honey.
Do
for
wasps make chutney?
supermarkets, but
She
to
does a
buzz
little
and
dance,
rustle
Watney,
on
of
their
a wasp,
own paper,
like a butter churn,
perpetuating their own agenda, growing
because that's how you make chutney. I guess?
stealthily.
Is it?
I don't think so.
The
I have no
most
idea.
relentless of insects.
Oh, that's the logo on the thing. Yeah, I don't know if I would. I don't know if that's intentional.
When a bee stings, It rips itself apart.
I mean, everything in this game is waspy as shit.
This appeals
It
to
is.
those raised worshiping
And this woman is
God
just the opposite of
that
that.
demands
Yeah.
sacrifice and atonement. But the wasp is promiscuous. They are not as sympathetic to the masses because they don't die when they sting. They live to sting another day, and they take pleasure from it.
It's
Yes.
the same.
But each pain.
Well, that's fun. You're a nice lady.
Bye.
So, I wonder. I punched her head off. Ah!
Nice punch. She was a giant wasp.
She
The
was a
whole
wasp the
time.
whole time. That I think.
This is just a big visual gag, I choose to believe.
I think that's the only kill that has like that blatant of a fucking. Like,
No, there
visual
are others.
with cut-ins like that.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Because most of the other kills I can think of, the little character model just crumbles and you move along.
Yeah, late in the game, I think we get some more.
Around town. I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There will be more deaths to come. Cool. Where we want to go?
Slaughterhouse?
Slaughterhouse? Yeah, let's go to the slaughterhouse. Harvest Meats Incorporated.
Cats.
Cats. Red brick building with a horrible stench coming from within. More cats. This used to be a kitty cat.
Oh.
Carcasses of several small animals. Freshly cut meat.
Steve, how's your father? Is he better?
About the same, I guess.
He's been away from work for weeks, and when I call your house, your mother won't let me talk to him.
I haven't seen him either.
This is a fine kettle of fish, I must say. Though I am glad to see you taking an interest in the business in your dad's absence.
Who are you?
Aw, Steve, I didn't want to believe that amnesia hokum. Now you're
Hokum.
saying you don't remember your pal Pat O'Reilly? You may come to realize that this business is not for everybody. Just ask your poor, ill dad. It takes dedication and a strong stomach.
I think that
A
one
lot
might
of
have
times,
glitched a
when
little
I'm
bit.
finished scrubbing up and digging the bits of intestine out from my fingernails, I must confess I don't have much appetite for red meat. But red meat is one of the principal food groups, and you've got to have it. So when you can do this all day and help yourself to a juicy red steak afterwards, then by golly, you can call yourself a butcher. Of course, amnesia would certainly help that.
I mean,
wouldn't
this
it?
is a meat man. He may not be the only meat man. What's wrong
What
with my
exactly
dad?
is wrong with your dad?
I don't know. I can't get in to see him.
Look, I'm not kidding about the amnesia. Why won't anyone believe me?
Well, you always were such a kidder, Steve.
You always
I
were
sure as
such
hell
a
don't
kid.
feel like a kidder now.
Cool.
Don't be such a stranger, Steve. And my best to your dad.
Number 2. Shall we go meet the other meat man? Shall we go meet the meat?
Oh, yeah, let's get that over with.
We got a pot
There's
stand.
several Band-Aids. There's several Band-Aids to rip off.
Yeah, I would argue it's a ball of Band-Aids. And at the center of the ball is the credits. The glass is so clear, the reflection makes it difficult to see. All right, let's just hop on in. There's the boy. He's got a picture of a steak. Mr. Potsdam is definitely one of the most memorable characters of the game.
That is the thing.
There he is,
yes.
my future son-in-law. And how's he doing today?
Pretty good performance.
What brings him to the Potsdam
Yeah, as far as
household?
like,
Huh?
as far as the actors and their performance, I'd say this actor does the best job. There's maybe one other guy I would say is on par with him, but he is a standout as far as that sort of thing. I've lost my memory.
What a card.
Would I kid about something like that? Why won't you believe me?
Well, you always were a kidder,
There's a difference
Steve.
between hey, you always were a kidder,
Telephoned
Steve.
us about your
There's a
latest
difference between liking an actor's
shenanigans
performance
and
and liking the character. That's a very important distinction to
Mr.
make.
Potsdam. You little rascal.
Yeah.
Imagination's a swell thing to
Especially in
have
this game.
in small amounts. Man needs to keep his feet on the ground, especially if he's getting married. Tell me, is your father feeling better? Is he going back to the slaughterhouse anytime soon?
Is he going back? Also, it's a super small thing. They didn't put a coaster on the TV when they put their beer down.
Son of a bitch.
This is why you always use a coaster. What about the slaughterhouse?
I can't imagine a better job than working in a slaughterhouse.
I don't want to work in there.
Bite your tongue with that serpent's tooth. Your dad's slaughterhouse is the most successful business in Harvest. You'll love it there. Oh, sure. Cutting animals open may not be much fun.
I love the theremin in the background for no reason.
It is seared into my mind, the theremin in this room.
The smell of death and shit in your nostrils all the time. Well,
yummy.
Those are all definite cons. But once you're done, the guts have been washed into the
Whoa!
gutters. What are you
The
left
fuck was that?
Meat. Rows and rows of scrumptious red meat.
Game is fighting you.
I think that's just an error in source. Also, that like hissing wave noise. I don't know if it's supposed to be the TV or not, but it started real bad in this room. That's the game. I cannot control that shit.
This playthrough's already haunted. We can't make jokes about that.
He's locked in a room.
He's not going to die, is he?
Oh no!
Like I said, I don't know. That woman, Mom, tends to him herself.
Well, next time you see him, be sure to tell him that I said hello. And tell him that I'm praying for his speedy recovery. And also, would you remind him about the meat?
Remind
Especially
him about
the meat.
Yeah, fine. If I see him.
You should be more concerned. If he dies, then who's going to take over the slaughterhouse? Who's going to tend to the meat? I guess as his son, you'd take over. Right?
The meat.
Meat is the foundation of any decent society. Everyone needs at least 3 servings of red meat a day.
3 servings.
And anyone who says
That's a lot of
otherwise
red meat.
is a
I'll
common.
say on the
And
international
once you're married
scale,
to Stephanie,
Americans use
I'll
meat
be part
as
of the family
a
too.
staple
And
of
your
their
father
diet
will
way
give me
more
all
than
the
most
meat
other
I want.
countries.
Yes, you do.
We eat far
Kind
too
of
much
makes up
goddamn
for not
meat.
getting into
Myself
the world.
included. I am not free of sin. Stephanie? Why is Stephanie grounded?
Well, don't look at me. Mrs. Potsdam wants Stephanie to study hard for her finals. If it was up to me, you could go straight upstairs, but you know, the little woman, you'll have to ask her permission to see Stephanie. Sorry, Steve. The last thing I want to do is upset you and your father before the wedding. Not with the meat at stake. You will remind your dad about the meat. Won't you?
You know, I suspect this man likes meat.
Tell me about this wedding.
Well, it looks like we're going to have to hold the wedding down at the funeral parlor, since I'm not a member of the lodge. Mr. Moynihan has given his okay, and your father is going to cater the affair with plenty of meat.
Thank you, Mr. Potsdam. Oh, wait, you have something to say about the lodge?
Why are you so anxious to get into the lodge?
There's wonders inside. I've heard there's more meat in there than they know what to do. Now that you're of age, Steve, you might go down to the post office and fill out a lodge application. They're always looking for new blood.
The third person that's telling us to go join the lodge. Yeah, I don't know if this... The body actor and the voice actor are one and the same for this part.
I think they're different for everybody.
Yeah, if this is two different performances, both of them are fucking killing it, because these faces are just amazing. Bye, Mr. Meat.
That guy is at least a character.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
100,000%.